The ACASIS TBU405Plus SSD enclosure and docking station should be the perfect solution for someone with an ultra slim notebook like myself. For example, on this MacBook Air, I have just 2 USB ports and that is it. But with this, I can extend that because this dock has 2 USB Type A ports, 1 USB Type C, and 2 display ports. And this here is the 40 gigabit port that you use to connect it to your laptop. To do that, you get a fairly long Thunderbolt cable, good quality. And there's a couple of more things that you get in the box with it. You get 2 SSD thermal pads, and this converter. In case you have smaller SSD, you can use this. But I will be using this crucial P3 Plus SSD, that is full size M.2 NVMe drive, so I will not be needing this. The SSD installation should be quite straightforward. Let's have a look. I'll just open this up. That's where the SSD goes. So you prepare a thermal pad and one of these fittings that also come in the box with the dock station / enclosure. So what we do is we put this here and now insert the drive like so. Don't forget to remove the film before using the thermal pad, and then just try your best to apply it evenly like so. Nope, let's redo. No worries, you can redo it as many times as you want. And finally, I got it right. Then don't forget to remove this film from the second side, because you want this side to make contact with this plate. Yes, surprise, surprise, that's where the fan is. This enclosure has active cooling. Now we just have to make sure that this lines up with this connection and close it up. It's done. By the way, this thing has rubber feet to stop it from sliding. It's really good rubber. Now let's use the included Thunderbolt cable to connect it to my laptop. We're going to use the 40 gigabit per second port right here. Connect it. And you can hear the fan has started spinning. So the fan will work even if you connect it just using this cable. However, it means that it's actually taking power from the laptop, and that's where that DC 5-volt power comes in handy, because if you don't want that fan to drain your battery when you're on the go, then you need to connect external power to it. And that's actually one of the cons that I see. Yeah, it would have been nice if we had an option to turn this fan off for times when we are on the go. When you connect the disk to the computer for the first time, you have to format it. When formatting the disk, you have several options available to you. If you are going to use the disk with both Mac as well as Windows machines, then you better use exFAT. I will be using it with my MacBook, so I'll select APFS. Then just go through with the formatting. It was quite fast. And now the disk is ready to be used. So let's test its speed. Select the drive, P3 Plus. Let's go. Start test. Oh yeah, that is a very fast write speed as well as read speed, Wow, these are some mighty impressive speeds. Take a look at that. 2700 megabytes per second read, 2300 megabytes per second write. That basically means that you can do whatever you want with this drive. It is extremely fast. One thing I'd like to point out about the fan is that it is not completely silent. You can kind of hear it just whispering away, and it is really noticeable if you have a fanless laptop like I do here. However, I imagine that if you had a laptop with a fan, then that sounds pretty much exactly the same as that. The noise is really subtle. However, I can definitely hear that it is operating. So once again, I would love a feature that would allow me to turn off the fan when I don't need it. Now let's do something practical. I have over 35 gigabytes of various size files in my download folder. That's where I dump all my footage before I start editing videos. So let's copy that and just put it on our drive. And take a look at that. That is extremely fast. Just, what, 10 seconds? 35 gigabytes? Over 500 items? That was fast. Hold on, how many items do we have here? Oh, okay, it's 350 items, not 500. Still, that was very fast. Now let's try connecting a monitor using a display port. Let's do it like so. It is connected, and yeah, there you go. You can connect monitors using these display ports. However, with my M1 MacBook Air, I cannot connect two displays because that is a MacBook limitation. But if you have a laptop with better capabilities than my MacBook, then you will be able to connect up to two 4K 60Hz monitors using these display ports. But as for this 1440p monitor, I can run it at 170 Hz, which is the maximum for this monitor. I imagine that you would be able to run it even faster if you had a different monitor that supported something like 240 or 360 Hz. Next up, let's do a video editing test. Using some of the files that I've already dropped onto this SSD, let's have a look if performance will be nice and smooth on our timeline. I am using better quality to display preview, so that will be the best quality, and it will be most taxing on SSDs that are a bit slow. So let's see how this one performs. Oh, take a look at that. This is silky smooth. Very responsive. Just momentarily jumps to whatever segment I'm choosing. Cutting, deleting, scrubbing through the timeline. Very smooth. I am well impressed with the performance of this SSD enclosure. Yeah, I definitely cannot tell the difference between editing files off of the SSD in the ACASIS enclosure and, you know, just internal SSD in my laptop, which is actually really fast in this MacBook. Impressive. Definitely impressive. In conclusion, what do I think about this SSD enclosure? Well, in terms of ports expansion, it is great. The speed is amazing. As you've seen in my video editing test, it rivals the internal SSD speed. So you can work off of this SSD No worries at all. You can use up to an 8 terabyte drive in this enclosure. So that is a massive storage expansion for something like a MacBook that, doesn't have an upgradable storage solution. The only problem I have with this enclosure is that the fan is just slightly louder than I would have liked. I definitely started getting a little bit annoyed because it's just sitting on the desk there while you're working, and you can definitely hear it if your laptop is silent. I wonder if that is something that could be addressed with a future firmware update, because all it takes is just lowering that fan speed, and I imagine that this thing would have been much quieter. Other than that, the build quality is impeccable. Full metal body, great grip on the bottom, and it is very durable. I also love the fact that you can use this to connect 2 monitors to your laptop. The ACASIS TBU405Plus is a great product if you are okay with that fan noise. So I can definitely recommend it for its performance, because the speed is absolutely insane. If you're interested in buying it, then you can do that at the link in the description below. If you enjoyed the video, then give it a like and subscribe for more if you haven't already. It was I, Vadim. Until next time.